75% of Americans have a spending problem. 84% justify their overspending. According to NerdWallet, 84% of Americans with a monthly budget admit to sometimes exceeding their planned spending. Here's a little secret. One of the quickest ways to get ahead financially is shockingly simple. Ready? Stop buying so much stuff. So in today's video, I am going to walk you through 11 things I don't spend money on, and it has helped me to save hundreds of thousands of dollars and begin my early retirement journey. Okay, starting off strong is not buying things to impress others, to look successful, or to keep up with the Joneses.
The amount of people who are in debt so they can drive a car that has a logo on it that makes them feel better because that's keeping up with the Joneses or other people's judgment is fascinating to me.
I've learned that real peace comes from financial freedom, not from flexing the latest gadget, wearing, or buying certain brands.
Why do you own a BMW?
Because I love the car, just the brand, and I love driving it, so I don't know.
So to me, that's where it gets interesting, right? Do you, or do you like what the brand does to make you look to other people? I don't know. I'm not assuming.
I know, you have a point. You have a point.
I know I have a point. I don't know you, but I know in the macro that 98% of people that buy a Mercedes or BMW likes what it makes other people think of them, not that they like it. And that $487 a month versus what they really need, which is $100 a month, is why they have a job they hate, because they're paying for a life that means nothing.
If someone is judging me for my phone or my shoes or for the kind of car that I drive, then that is not the type of person that needs to take up space in my life. Moving on to one that might stir the pot a bit.
Is it just me, or has the tipping culture gotten so out of control? This is coming from someone that used to work in the restaurant business, but I just ordered Subway, went and picked it up myself, and they ask you if you want to leave a tip 2 different times. So then you look like a jerk when you say no.
Now, I'm not anti-tip. I tip servers when I go to a sit-down restaurant. But I have a problem tipping someone who just brought me a muffin at the counter and when I'm trying to make a purchase online.
I'm purchasing an office chair online and they're asking me if I want to leave a tip.
25, 20, 18% tip. For what?
Tipping culture has gone way too far.
I don't know about you, but sometimes I get a little annoyed and frustrated when a screen turns around asking for a 25% tip on a $15 sandwich.
If you're frustrated, you're not alone. A survey by Bankrate found that a third of people are annoyed by those pre-entered tip screens and think tipping culture has gotten
out of control.
So yeah, most of the time I hit no tip. But listen, there's another side to this. There are always two sides.
I just want to address this from the other side as a former barista. I want to start out by saying the reason that a lot of places, including coffee shops, have that tip where they turn the iPad around and it's all the pressure on you is because they're not paying their employees enough money. Like, there were times where I felt like I was not making enough money for the job that I was doing. And I relied on those tips. Because, seriously, completely honestly with you, half of my paycheck was tips. It should not be that big of a portion. Like, I should not be getting paid so little that half of my paycheck was tips. So just, please tip your barista. If somebody's doing a service for you, a waiter, your hairdresser, anybody's doing a service, please leave a tip.
Now, whether you agree with her or not, she has a point. And this is being driven by the economy and businesses trying to retain their employees while at the same time not increasing prices on their customers. At the end of the day, I usually don't do any unnecessary tipping. Plus, I pay with cash most of the time. So sorry, I don't have any extra money for a 25% tip. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Next is alcohol. I don't buy any alcohol, but a lot of people do, and most of the time they end up regretting it because listen, Alcohol can be expensive.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and the number of Americans having a drink continues to rise, and so does how much they're spending on alcohol. A recent Gallup poll found 65% of American adults say they drink. It's the third year in a row that percentage has gone up. USA Today reports the average spending on alcoholic beverages ranges from as little as $500 a person per year to as much as $1,200 per year.
I find it interesting how some people find the money for things that they want to indulge in, but then complain about being in debt and having to live paycheck to paycheck. Listen to this message from Kathy.
And here's a question for you. Are you spending money on alcohol that should be going somewhere else? I always had cash for alcohol. It was more important than the house payment, the car payment. It was a necessity. So are you spending money on alcohol and then telling people, I don't have money to do this. I can't go on that vacation. I can't join that group. I can't buy that thing for my child. There's not enough money. Well, here's the question. Where's the money going? Am I spending money on alcohol that could be going to other places?
Now let's talk about tattoos. Some people wear them as art, as visual diaries of their life. And I guess to each his own, but for me, that's not something that I'm willing to drop hundreds or thousands of dollars on. Between the cost of the design, the artist time, the tip, the aftercare, tattoos are not cheap. And let's be real, my taste has changed a lot over the years. What I thought was meaningful at 21 probably wouldn't hit the same now. So instead of permanently inking something on my skin that I may regret years down the line.
What in the hell was I thinking getting this tattoo?
So I just got a new tattoo and I regret it.
Every time I get a face tattoo, I think before I get it.
Notice when you flip it upside down, when it doesn't have the petals, it just looks like a used tampon.
I keep the memories in my head, the stories in my heart, and the money in my bank account. I also don't buy new cars. Buying a new car is one of the fastest ways to set your money on fire with a smile. Once you drive off that lot, it loses like 15 to 20% of its value. That's like tossing a few $1,000 out the window before you even hit the red light.
Want some money? Woo! Grab some money!
I stick with used cars, well-maintained, reliable cars that are just a few years old. Let someone else take that big depreciation hit and I'll swoop in to get a better deal. I don't need a big touchscreen or a new car smell. As long as it gets me from point A to point B, it's safe and it drives well, I'm good. I also don't spend money buying food using food delivery apps.
Are probably familiar with them, whether you're a user or a viewer of their constant ads featuring everyone from Jennifer Aniston to Big Bird to this Uber Eats Super Bowl one starring none other than Diddy. And I'm guessing Uber Eats might be regretting that last one right now.
If I want takeout, I'll go pick it up myself. I'm not paying a service fee, a delivery fee, a tip, and then have a cold burger show up 30 minutes later. But many people believe that the high prices are worth the convenience and the time saving. And actually, people also use those apps for more than just food delivery.
People use delivery apps for all sorts of reasons, and some very good, as this driver for DoorDash explains.
It's all sorts. The average customer, it's not like a bunch of lazy people. It's a lot of people need this because they're too busy with kids or they don't have a license for whatever reason.
American consumers spend an average of $118 a month on food delivery. This one is huge. I don't spend money on paying interest on consumer debt.
American consumers are racking up credit card debt at record rates. The Federal Reserve reports debt levels for March climbed by more than $52 billion, and revolving credit, which includes credit cards, surged more than 21%. And with interest rates rising, those credit card bills will be harder to pay off.
Paying interest on consumer debt is basically like giving future you a bill for stuff that past you probably didn't even need. But I'll be honest, I used to carry credit card balances. I thought it was normal. buy now and worry later. But then I started paying closer attention to how much money I was paying in interest. It was like lighting money on fire. Like, why was I paying extra for food that I ate 3 months ago, or for a gadget that I probably don't even use anymore? Now, if I can't afford it at that moment, I don't buy it. Simple as that. I'd rather wait, save up, and then buy it outright so that I'm not caught in a cycle of having to owe the bank money for something that has probably lost value or lost interest in my life. Now, I don't spend money on impulse purchases. I say now because impulse purchases used to get me all the time. I would be scrolling online and see something on sale for today only, and suddenly I needed it. Never mind, I didn't know that thing existed 5 minutes ago.
When you go shopping, it can sometimes be tough not to make that big impulse buy.
Oh, don't I know that? A new study seems to back up that idea. Creditcards.com found that 5 out of 6 Americans admitted to impulse buys. While most of the splurges are inexpensive, more than half the responders said they've spent more than $100 on an impulse buy. Another 20% said they've spent at least $1,000 on impulse.
Impulse buying is like emotional spending. You know, you're getting that quick hit. Not that I know what that feels like or anything. But, you know, that high doesn't last forever, and you're left with just more stuff, more clutter in your house, and a smaller bank account. I don't buy designer baby clothes. I mean, we're talking about tiny humans who grow faster than weeds and spit up on everything.
A leisure suit? So cute!
That's really cute.
Oh, $1 bajillion. Oh my god.
I would rather put that money towards their future, like a college fund, or for experiences that they could remember when they get older. Why am I going to spend $60 on onesies when it's probably going to last 2 months if it survives the diaper blowouts and food stains? Babies don't care about name brands. All they want is something that's soft and comfortable. I also don't buy extended warranties. Extended warranties sound good on paper, but most of the time they're just expensive peace of mind that most of the time you never use.
Consumer Reports survey of 12,000 subscribers found extended warranties are an expensive gamble.
We found that more than half of people who bought an extended warranty never used the coverage. And even among those who did, they spent far more for the coverage than they saved in repairs.
I self-insure. I have an emergency fund, so if something breaks, I have the cash to replace it. No monthly premiums, no gotchas, just a little confidence and a lot more money in my bank account.
The Better Business Bureau recently issued a warning to consumers after receiving hundreds of complaints about companies selling extended auto service contracts and suggests using extreme caution when considering one.
A better plan would be to take whatever money you would spend on an extended warranty and instead put that in an emergency fund. You'd have that money available if you need a repair, or you could put it toward your next car.
Cable TV. Yeah, I cut the cord on that a long time ago and never looked back.
Are you thinking about cutting the cable cord? Well, you're certainly not alone. Millions of Americans are moving to online streaming services instead of traditional cable.
Let's be honest. Most of us are just watching the same handful of shows anyway, and they are all streaming on platforms. Cutting cable easily saved me hundreds of dollars a year, and I took that money along with the money that I saved by not buying the 10 previous things that I mentioned, took all that money and invested. So if you've learned anything from this video, give it a like. And there are 25 more things that you are wasting your money on. To learn about those things, click on the on-screen video and I'll see you there.